So I'm here in the kitchen, and as you can see, it's not a huge kitchen, but it's a very functional kitchen. And the reason for that is because I went through it, I've decluttered it, and I try my best to keep it decluttered. Now, don't get me wrong, in the past, I was sucked into buying so many little kitchen gadgets, small kitchen appliances, little cute things, you know, multiples of different colors, just stuff that were excess that I didn't need, I didn't use. Really, it was a waste of money, but I paid for it. It was good, nice things, and so I just hung on to it. And when we moved into this house 6 years ago, I really packed these cabinets and drawers full, and we didn't even have a place to put our canned food, boxed foods that normally go in a pantry because this house does not have a pantry. And so we took over a closet in one of our spare bedrooms and kind of turned that into a walk-in pantry. And it worked out really great. We packed that thing full as well, but soon it was just a pain to go down the hall into another room to get, you know, some canned food or something to cook dinner. I really wanted so much for all of my kitchen stuff that I use on a daily basis to be in my kitchen, all in one place. And so one day I decided to go through every cabinet and drawer and look to see what was in here, and I had so much stuff that I never used. And so I decluttered it all and made room for things that I use, and now I no longer have to use that closet as a pantry. I have all of my food, canned food, boxed foods, you know, pots and pans, you know, everything I need right here in my kitchen. And I've said it before, this is not about getting rid of all of your stuff. If you love it, you use it, you're gonna wanna keep it. For example, if you love coffee, you drink coffee, you probably have a coffee maker, you're gonna wanna keep that, you're not going to declutter it. This is about getting rid of the excess, the things that you probably forgot about, the things that were pushed to the back, just something you purchased once upon a time that you never use. And so you can see back here, I have a KitchenAid stand mixer, I have my Vitamix blender. Those are things that I love and use. I'm not going to declutter those, so we're getting rid of the excess. So today I want to share with you some tips on how to get started decluttering your kitchen, and also share with you several things you'll probably find in your kitchen that you can probably declutter. Now, for every decluttering project, you need to have two things before you get started. The first one is a bag, a garbage bag, for obvious trash, things that are broken, you know, papers, things that no longer work, things that you could not even give away for free, even if you tried. No one wants them, throw them in the trash. The second thing is a box. These are for donatables or things you may want to sell. So things that people would want that are still usable, nice things. So those things you can either just donate it to immediately get it out of your house, or you could possibly sell them. I like to sell things. I know myself. I like to have a yard sale. I also like to post things on Facebook Marketplace, but these things can take time. They can be work. So if you're not that type of person, go ahead and just declutter it. Again, that's just the fastest way to get it out of your house. And things that I sold online, I had to at least, you know, make $20 or more to make it worth my time. So I'm not going to be selling things on there for like $2. So just go ahead and donate that stuff. So you have your bag, you have your box, it's time to declutter the kitchen. Now, the first place you want to start, I think, is on your countertops. There's nothing worse than coming into the kitchen, needing to, you know, prep for a meal or to try to cook or, you know, make your lunch for work. And you have to kind of push things aside to get to your countertops. They are not a storage space. Your flat surfaces are not to store things, especially things you don't use on a regular basis like every day. They are a work surface, so you can prep your food, chop your vegetables, you know, use your kitchen to cook your meals. And so get those cleaned off. Start in a small area of your countertop, get it fully decluttered, and then move on. You'll see real progress. You'll get excited. You'll get motivated to keep on going. Now, I do want to quickly mention, if you have a problem with paper clutter piling up on your counters in your kitchen, you might want to check out this video that I recently did. It's a system on how you can really easily get your paper clutter under control, get it organized in one small kind of footprint or space. A really detailed video. Check it out. Now, once your countertops are decluttered, be really choosy, kind of picky about what you put back on them. I understand if you drink coffee every day or multiple times a day, you want to have your coffee maker on there, or, I like to have my cutting board and my knives. I use them, several times a day, or when I'm preparing meals every day. And then, over here tucked in the corner, my mixer and my Vitamix. Sometimes it's just a hassle to bring it kind of up and down out of the cabinet, so I just have them tucked away over there in the corner. I still have plenty of space to work, so it's not bothering me at all, and I may only use those, a couple times a week, but to me it's worth it. But I recommend just keeping the things out that you really use frequently. So once you're done with the counters, move on to your cabinets and your drawers. Do one at a time. Again, so you don't get so overwhelmed, do one at a time. When that's done, move on to the next. A lot of times we don't have a whole day to declutter the kitchen. Maybe we only have a few hours to work on it every day. Don't worry, you'll eventually get there. And the more and more progress you see, the more you'll get excited. And so you'll keep on going. It'll keep you motivated. Now, let's talk about things you're probably going to see in your kitchen that you could possibly declutter. And speaking of small kitchen appliances, those are a biggie. I had so many that I purchased over the years. I never did use. They were a hassle to clean. I just never reached for them, used them once or twice. Why did I purchase those? I end up decluttering those. So things like, large deep fryers, and maybe those big countertop grills, or a toaster oven, or a Instant Pot or crock pot. Some of those things you don't use. I bought a bread maker, used it once or twice, hung on to that thing for years, and finally gave it to my mother because I never used it. To me, it was so much easier just to turn on my oven, make some bread in the oven, and it was just easier for me. I didn't like to fool with the bread maker manual and, programming that thing and cleaning the parts and storing it, and that thing was like $100. And so to me, I look back now, it was a waste of money. I probably should not have purchased it, but you live and you learn. Another thing, one of those big double basket deep fryers. Those were like 80 some dollars. Bought one of those. I used it once or twice. It was just too big to store, a pain to clean. You had to use so much oil. It was just so much easier for me to take a pot or a pan, some type of skillet, and put some oil in that and fry something. I never reached for that deep fryer, and I sold it in a yard sale. So we live and we learn, and it does really help us to kind of shift our mindset so that we are thinking more about what we're about to purchase, because we don't want to waste our money and have to declutter it later. So again, those small kitchen appliances, if you're not using them, get rid of them. They're taking up too much space. It doesn't matter if you purchased it for a lot of money, or maybe just somebody gave it to you as a gift. You know what you love, you know what you use, you know what works for you. Get rid of it if you don't use it. Now, things like a waffle maker, I love it. I use it. James and I make waffles like every week, if not a couple times a week. I know it's terrible, but we love our waffle maker. It's big and bulky and hard to clean, but I love it. I use it. I'm not going to declutter it. Also a crock pot. I use that. I'm going to hang on to that. But some of the other little, small kitchen appliances, again, that I get sucked into buying and I don't use, I'm decluttering it. Now, the next thing that we can declutter are our kitchen gadgets. These little gadgets that's supposed to make things a whole lot better, make our life easier, make a task in the kitchen, faster and easier. But they never did. they were not that impressive. I would buy them and use them and find out that I could just do the same thing with a simple knife, something that I already had, easy to clean. No, I was buying the little corn remover from the cob, whatever those things are called. I have one of those. I could just use my knife. I decluttered that thing. Or maybe a garlic press. I had this fancy garlic press. It was kind of expensive. I saw one on the Food Network, you know, and I'm trying to use this garlic press, and it's just frustrating. Afterwards, had garlic stuck in it. I had to clean it. It was just easier for me to mince up my garlic with my knife. So these little small little gadgets that we don't use, that are not that great, get rid of them. Now the next one's a biggie. Mugs. Coffee mugs, travel mugs, water bottles. We accumulate so many. We see one's cute, we purchase it, we get them as gifts. We end up with like 50. Why do we need so many? Go through those, pare them down to your favorites. Get rid of the ones in the bag that are stained, broken, and chipped. Just get rid of them. Again, I think the one in, one out rule is really good in this situation. You bring a new coffee mug in, you declutter, get rid of an old one, and you maintain that same amount. And so that way, they're easier to store in your cabinets. They're not taking up a lot of space. Now, another biggie are food storage containers. Again, why do we have so many? Some of us just keep old butter bowls with lids, you know, Cool Whip bowls with their lids. My grandma used to do this. She would have a whole pantry full stacked to the ceiling. She could not possibly use all of those. Why keep those around? Declutter. Again, pare them down. Keep a certain amount. Some of those plastic ones get all nasty and they melt in the microwave or in the dishwasher. You know, they're not safe for those areas. They get stained and discolored. Sometimes I think it's best to just get rid of those. That is what I've done, and invest in some nice glass ones that are going to hold up, that have the, you know, leak-proof lids. And so I did that. I'll leave a link down in the video description below to check the ones I got on Amazon. And you can also store them with their lids. Just stack them in there nicely. I think mine was a 10-piece set. So 5 containers and 5 lids. That really is enough for me. I think it's good to keep a small amount so you don't have like a million in your refrigerator, like getting moldy and getting nasty, that you forget about. Use them, take them out, wash them so you can use them again when you want to save more leftovers. Now, speaking of kind of old and nasty, don't forget to declutter your refrigerator. There's so much in there. Maybe you purchased it, tried it once, didn't like it, left it in there. It's probably expired. Throw that in the trash. Get rid of it. Things you're not going to eat, throw it away. Keep your refrigerator decluttered. And speaking of expired food, go through your pantry areas. If you're like me, I just keep my canned food and box food, stuff like that, in my kitchen cabinets. Go through those, declutter the things you're not going to use. If it's not expired, you can donate that. Just keep room for things that you are going to eat and, you know, make into meals. So go through those spaces. Now, another thing that we could possibly declutter is kitchen towels, you know, those dish towels, pot holders, you know, kitchen linens, placemats, tablecloths, all of those type of things. You know, a lot of times they just get worn and stained and ripped, full of holes, food spots. I mean, they just start to look bad. Throw those away, maybe turn some into rags, to recycle those, just whatever. But you may just need to get rid of those and get some new ones. Sometimes that's just what we have to do. And just a quick tip when it comes to knowing how many of something to keep. I know some things we may just need one of something, like, you know, one mixer, but, you know, other things we may need a couple of sets of pot holders, I don't know, several dish towels. And so I like to use their home or that space, that drawer, as the kind of container. So the drawer that I keep my pot holders and my dish towels, that is where I keep them. I cannot have more than what fits in that space. And so if they're spilling out or so full I can't shut the drawer, then I need to declutter some of those. And so again, I have what can fit in the space that I've given it. Now, another thing, some of us may have junk drawers or utility drawers, and really I don't like to call them junk drawers because if it's junk, you can just throw it in the trash. So some place that you put little odds and ends, keep those decluttered. They can really get piled up with things that shouldn't even be in there, papers, receipts, stuff like that. Keep those decluttered so you can keep them organized and it's not a big jumbled mess. Now the next thing, some of us may keep our medications stored somewhere in the kitchen. So go through those, if that is you, go through those, get rid of the old ones that have expired, ones that you're no longer going to take. Maybe your doctor started you on a new medicine, new prescription, and they've stopped your old one. Get rid of those. Those can really kind of pile up and we can really have just way too many medications that we are no longer taking, and even supplements, all of those types of things. Go through those, get rid of the ones that you are not going to use. The next one are old spices. Go through your spices, throw out the ones you're not going to use, that you didn't like, that are just old, you've had them for years. Get rid of those, make room in your spice cabinet. And really guys, I could just go on for days. There's just so much stuff in the kitchen that we can purchase out there, different pots and pans and cutting boards and kitchen strainers and graters and just so much stuff. Pretty bakeware sets and platters and serving dishes and serving spoons and just your everyday bowls and plates and stuff. You can really just get so many. And all of this stuff is things that we have to store, to clean, and to manage. And if we have just so much excess, really what's the point? Why, store and manage all of those things if you don't ever use them? So really be hardcore, go through your kitchen and declutter the things that you don't use. So guys, if you are decluttering, let me know down in the comment section below. I hope this video was helpful. Some of the tips, if you have more tips to share with us, leave them down in the comment section below. And guys, check out videos here about decluttering if you haven't seen them yet, and I'll see you later. Bye.